KKHT wants you to meet the classiest guys in real estate.
This is Tim O'Neill, the icon of insurance.
I'm Chris Kelso, the Meister of Mortgage.
And I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate. And together we are
the Real Estate Rat Pack. Much like us, real estate in the greater Houston area is hot.
So whether you're buying, selling, owning, or insuring real estate in the greater Houston area,
you need to check us out as we are the preeminent source for everything you need to know.
And now, they're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now 1-800-808-5548. The Real Estate Rat Pack.
Good morning, Houston. We're getting better.
Getting a lot better at that now,
aren't
we?
No kidding. We got some shout-outs to do this
Man,
week.
we got some great shout-outs today. First and foremost, you know, we were privileged to be at two great parties last night.
How do we do it?
I have no idea how we did it.
And you know what?
Volume.
We were checked in Austin, too.
We were checked in Austin at the same time. That is
we're
correct.
amazing.
Absolutely. So, Teresa Kennedy did her rebranding party. A big shout-out to Teresa Kennedy on her rebranding. And Capital Title.
Party.
That was absolutely. And then Capital Title did their awards banquet last night, and we were invited to be there. Yes.
We showed up late, but we
showed up
were there.
late. Hey,
Thanks for
we're the
bringing
Rat
the
Pack.
check.
If we show up on time, it'd be, yeah.
But
exactly.
a good time was had by all.
Yes.
Good time was had by all. Everybody. In fact, we have Capital Title in the house with Rebecca Haas, Dave Dickinson, and both their respective leaders won some pretty nice awards last night.
Yes,
Let me
they
tell
did.
you. It was
I
fun.
would suggest that there may be a few Capital Title alumni that may be packed in ice this morning.
That is probably true. So, no, it was really good. And so we've had, and then just a really good week just in general also.
It has
You
been a great
know,
week.
we've had a lot of good stuff going on. Obviously, there was a big announcement with the Ivy Lofts and Willow Bend Mortgage
Well, you might
earlier
as well
this
go ahead and
week,
talk about
which I
that
thought
real
was pretty
quickly.
cool. So, first of its kind going in here in Houston. Ivy Lofts is going to be down in the Edo area, and it's going to be a new micro condominium project.
It sounds like a bunch of closet space.
Right, over 500 units, and we'll be opening up a sales center down there, actually the mid-March area. IKEA is a big contributor to that as well. It'll actually be built out within the next 3 years, and then Willow Bend is the actual
And
preferred
it's
lender on
decided
site.
to be aimed towards the medical center.
Mainly medical center
Medical
and students.
center,
that
small
is correct,
spaces
yes.
that people can just kind of come and go, and like starting at 300 square feet. Is that right?
Starting at 300 square feet, $119,000. We're actually going to do a whole segment on the Ivy Lofts a little bit later on this year, actually probably later on this month.
So this is just a
Yep.
teaser.
Just a teaser right now of what's to come. That is correct.
Well,
You
we
were
have
such a tease.
we have a team on today that is pretty phenomenal. I mean,
We
they
have
start
a
off from like
phenomenal team.
0 to 100 miles an hour in about 2 years.
That is correct. I could have sat down and talked with them nonstop out there because of how much interest I've got in the subject matter of process and performance improvement.
from Remax Fine Property. We have a lot of friends down at Remax Fine Property. It was Kunal and, make sure I get this correctly, Sonnet, Seth. That's easy. Just
That's
like it sounds.
known as the Seth
Brothers. All together now.
So welcome
So
to
welcome
the
to the
show. by the
show.
way.
Thank you. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah. So we were talking about you. We always had that pre-show show. We get a lot of information from our guests in the morning. You actually started in corporate America. Talk a little bit about that and then how you transitioned into real estate.
I did. I started in corporate America about 15 years back. My first job was with an accounting firm, Deloitte & Touche. Was with them for about 7 years. Then I transitioned into working for an oil and gas company, Transocean, for about 7 years. But then I was done with corporate America. In my previous life, I used to be an auditor.
Oh, wow.
And everybody loves auditors, yes?
Yes, we love
Right,
to see
everyone
you.
does.
My
Yes.
daughter's studying to be an auditor.
And then 2 years back, I transitioned and became a realtor, and that's when we made the team, the Seth Brothers.
And you've treated it like a business. And you were talking about basically you went from starting out to the number one team at Remax Fine Properties
Within
in
2
Sugar Land.
years.
Within 2 years. That's
That's
amazing.
awesome.
How'd you do that?
I think the mantra for our success has been, taking baby steps, at the same time being strategic about our business plan and applying the right attitude to
Oh,
the
wait a
team.
minute. You're treating your real estate business like a business?
Wait a second.
Wait a second. That is just too far out of the box.
I think I need an aspirin. What happened?
Yeah, you said everybody run into their bathroom screaming. I'll talk a little bit about that because I think that's probably one of the, we've always said that most of the business is 80-20. And I really think it's more like, 90-10. But the people who do the top 10% of the business do treat it like a business. So what do you do differently that makes you so unique
I think one thing we do differently is average realtor in the market, they are glorified tour guides. What they do is open up doors, show the home, talk about the features. We do it differently. When we work with clients, we actually bring them to the office, determine what their needs are, determine what their financial goals are. And our commitment to them is, yes, we can help you buy a home or sell a home or make an investment in the real estate market. But our primary goal is to help them make the right financial decision. And we can only do that if we have controls, processes, systems in place to be able to direct them in the right direction.
You know, I love the fact that you said make the right financial decision, because I've always told everybody that unfortunately what ends up happening a lot of times in the real estate industry is people have a personal connection, right? And so, you know, it's always personal. So, and I have always said, and maybe it's because we have a very similar background, but it's a financial decision. It's always been a financial decision, because ultimately you want to buy at a good price. You want to be able to have appreciation. You want to be able to sell at a good price, hopefully. You want to be able to live comfortably in that area. But ultimately, it is a financial decision. And sometimes people get too wrapped up in the personal side of things, and so they make a decision that is not financially sound and hurts them short-term and sometimes long-term. You know, and I know, you know, you're shaking your head because you probably see the same thing, and it's hard to get people out of that comfort level of saying, let's make a financial decision.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people do buy on emotion. You know, real estate is the kind of business where, and home buying is the kind of thing where people see things, they get excited, and they want to buy it. But ultimately, as you said, you know, there's a lot of things that go into home buying that people don't consider sometimes, you know, beyond just the way the house looks, you know, long-term goals, financial situation. And what's interesting is a lot of people we bring to the office, they actually tell us, you know, you're the first person who's talked to us like that. You know, you're the first person who's brought us to the office and asked us, okay, what do we need to do here? What do we need to do there? And they really appreciate it.
You know, and you have a great perspective because, and for all those listening at a Sonnet, you have an interesting perspective. You've been in real estate actually for 15 years.
That's correct.
And you actually have been in the Houston market for 4, but prior to that, you were in Boston, where real estate is extremely different.
Yes,
Sox.
absolutely.
Right. And we have a lot of Red Sox fans out there.
Patriots.
Yeah, and Patriots, that is
Couple
correct.
hours last week. Or whatever. Yeah.
But, you know, talk a little bit about that you know, what you've seen in those differences, because I will tell you, having lived in New York, not for as long as you lived in Boston, I know there's some vast differences associated with real estate in Texas versus real estate, obviously, in the New England states.
Sure. Well, I mean, the main thing here, and I got to say, you know, after I moved to Houston, I wish I had moved sooner. I mean, I love it down here, you know, especially, I mean, not only from a lifestyle point of view, but even from a business point of view, in terms of being a realtor. In Boston, as you know, things are very, very expensive. Things are very, very old. Things are very, very dense and compact. So what ends up happening is, you know, you have a lot of demand there, but not a lot of good supply of good quality homes. So people end up fighting over the, you know, relatively scarce amount of quality homes, which in turn drives up the prices a lot. Whereas down here, you have a lot of options. You know, if you want to spend $200,000, you can. If you want to spend $300,000, you can. If you want to spend $500,000, you can. And what's great about it is all of the options in any of these price points, they're all going to be pretty decent. It just depends on, you know, where you need to be, location, commute, all of those things. But just relatively speaking, it's, you know, people are lucky down here to have these kinds of options, because in Boston, over there, you would spend weeks and months looking for that one property that could work for you. Whereas down here, generally, when we meet with people, we have a handful of options. It's just a matter of which one works best for them.
That, and you know, and the other thing you see a lot of times is the way the transaction does the financial transaction after the fact, because there you don't use title companies the way we do here. You don't use some of those relationships along the process that we have here. I mean, y'all obviously have a great partner in Capital Title here, but talk a little bit about that and how that transaction works. I know obviously, you know, it's an attorney-driven market. A lot of times you're going, the whole closing process is a little bit different. I can't even imagine what it's like now with the CD and all the changes on the national level. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Up there, you know, you don't have title companies. Attorneys are involved from the beginning. So
What could go wrong?
I know. And, you know, they're involved in the beginning from the purchase and sale agreement all the way to the closing. And, you know, we're all joking about it, but when you have more people involved like that, it just tends to, again, create more issues and cause more problems. And you don't have it down here where you have the, you know, standardized TREC forms and title companies managing it from start to finish. So, Yes, it's much better down here where you have a lot, a lot more relationship building. So you can work with people you want to work with, as opposed to just, nothing against attorneys, but just random
Right.
attorneys who are trying to, throw their weight around. And by knowing great people like, Rebecca, Terry, Capital Title, they've helped us, increase our business and so forth with, different programs that they have and different events and so forth. So they've also been a part in our success.
And then that's very interesting to see and hear because, we talk about a lot of times, Rob and I, about real estate in Houston, how great it is. But it's always good to hear from somebody who's done it outside of the state. I mean, you don't, because we don't hear it very often, and there is a very big difference associated with that. The other thing I tell everybody is Houston is a huge melting pot. We are the largest melting pot in the world, I would say. I mean, we're absolutely the largest melting pot.
According to Forbes magazine,
Exactly.
we're the most culturally diverse community in Fort Bend County, actually.
Fort Bend County, the most culturally diverse. And y'all have a very interesting concept that you do because obviously growing up being Indian of your heritage right there from India, which as I was telling you between one of the breaks, my nephew absolutely is his favorite place in the entire world. But y'all also go a little bit further in regards to really educating the industry and other industry professionals, which I think is great, on how to deal with the Indian culture. I think, which I love, by the way, but it was an interesting concept you were talking about.
Really fascinating.
Absolutely. So Houston, of course, is very diverse, but Fort Bend County is the most diverse county in the country. And our primary area of business is Fort Bend County. And over here, we have a lot of new construction builders, communities, master plan communities, and typical salesperson in the market. They struggle with dealing with Southeast Asian buyers. They don't know how to communicate with them. They don't know how to greet them. They don't know how to negotiate with them. Basically, when a Southeast Asian buyer walks through the doors, they are kind of taken aback and do not know how to deal with them. So about a year and a half back, we developed this training program called How to Decode and Win Indian Clients. And we've trained builder partners like Taylor Morrison, Darling Home, Meritage Home, Highland Home.
Can we invoice
Berry
that
Home.
now?
Should I be should I be filling this out on a sheet of paper?
And in this training, of course, we talk about the different aspects of Indian culture, but on the humorous side, Sumant and I do a role play where he pretends to be a typical American salesperson, and I pretend to be a typical Indian buyer. And then I put on the Indian accent. Come on now, what are you going to do for me today?
I love it. But, you're absolutely right. It's so important. You mentioned mixing humor with it, which I love. But also, it's important to understand a lot of times that diversity we have, you have to understand how to deal with different cultures because every culture likes to be dealt with a little bit different. How has that worked out for y'all as far as that goes? What has been some of your feedback?
Well, they're the number one team.
They're the number one team.
So
so
does that tell you
really
anything?
good, right?
That speaks pretty loudly to me.
In 2 years, right.
I think, of course, being of Indian origin, we know about the Indian culture, but between me and Sanat, we personally have been to 28 different countries, and we've been exposed to different cultures and different kind of nationalities. So when we work with buyers, when we meet with them, we know what pays to talk with them. We know how to present things to them. So if it's a cultural buyer who says, it's too complicated, we take a step back and talk in their language. That's the key.
And that's extremely important because I do know, obviously, I've got a lot of friends in the real estate industry who have educated me on all different types of cultures, whether it be the Asian culture, whether it be the Indian culture, whether it be the Russian culture, the Chinese culture, a lot of different things out there. Obviously, Latin American I know very well. But you're right, there is a way to deal with every culture just a little bit different. And if you add humor to it, like what you were talking about, I think it makes it all the difference in the world.
Yeah, I want to take that class. I think we both next
I-
time.
I absolutely
want
wanna
to
take it.
show
It
up.
just sounds like so
That
much
actually
fun
be a
and
class for a
fascinating.
lot of people.
Yes.
To do that in
And
a lot
not
of
just
business.
real estate,
Not
by
just
the way,
real
because
estate.
most people don't realize is real estate is a microcosm of what actually the market represents in a whole. I mean, growing up
Absolutely.
in corporate America, as you mentioned, we deal with all different individuals in corporate America. You deal with the same struggles, same individuals, the same personalities that we do in real estate, and sometimes that make a lot bigger decisions on a lot bigger scale. So it's pretty interesting. We are going to continue to speak with them.
I think we're coming up against a break.
But
already.
we are coming up against a break right now, so we're going to take a few moments to announce our sponsors out there.
We're not letting
Stay
them go.
tuned.
They're coming back.
They're coming right back. Stay
back.
tuned. We will be right back.
Legs damn near everywhere. Hold up now, you look good. I will not lie. But if you ask,
Are you looking to finance a new home or refinance your existing home? Look no further. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage. Willow Bend Mortgage is a mortgage banker in the greater Houston area. In business since 1993, Willow Bend Mortgage offers a great array of products from FHA, VA, and USDA loans to conventional and jumbo loans, all with great rates and incredible service from Chris and his staff. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage today, 713-256-9138, or online at chriskelso.com. Again, that's 713-256-9138, or online at chriskelso.com. Available 24 hours a day. Great rates, exceptional service. That's Willow Bend Mortgage.
Down Under Pools can help make your backyard a focal point for luxury outdoor living. Imagine coming home from a hard day's work and enjoying the evening in a spa-like environment with pool, water features, and lighting integrated seamlessly into your home and landscaping design. Down Under's design team has a seasoned eye for color, scale, proportion, and detail. Even more important is Down Under's commitment to the highest quality construction practices to achieve the highest standards of hydraulic and structural integrity. Down Under is one of the most creative and trusted pool and landscape builders in Houston because of their award-winning design and construction and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Visit downunderpools.com to see examples of what could be in your backyard. That's DOWNUNDA pools.com. Down Under. Pools for the mind, body, and soul. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties, the fastest growing real estate company in Houston. Over 400 trained professional realtors here to serve your needs in 21 locations in Houston and across the state. Whether you're buying, selling, or leasing, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties is the smart choice. Check us out at andersonprops.com today. Find out why so many choose Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties for all of their real estate needs. You know us, we know real estate.
We're bringing it back. We're bringing it back. We are back, right?
Yes.
Got some Fireball. You know, we always have Fireball Friday, but this is Fireball Saturday morning, let me tell you, because we have some great individuals here with the Seth brothers. And I've just, you know, we were talking between the break again, and between the break we have so much good conversation right there. But, you know, what's going on in Fort Bend County? I mean, we were seeing a lot of stuff that's going on development-wise. And Fort Bend, obviously, we talked about the diversity of it, but there's also a lot of development because of what's going on now with 99, all the opening up. Actually, today, we officially know the Grand Parkway, I think, for the next week is going to be open all the way from, you know, Sugar Land all the way up to the Woodlands, actually, which is pretty neat. So we encourage everybody to go take a look at that. But a lot of stuff's going on development-wise down there, and it's only getting bigger. What are you seeing?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in Fort Bend, a lot of people know some of the big master plan communities, you know, Riverstone, Sienna Plantation, but there's a lot more development going on. You know, there's Imperial, which is happening at the old Imperial Sugar Factory. Aliana has really come on in the last couple of years. Harvest Green has opened up, you know, in the last year. A lot of communities are opening up, as you mentioned, up and down that Grand Parkway area. And I was actually attending an HAR luncheon last week or a couple of weeks ago, and that area kind of, you know, south of West Park Tollway off of 99, that's a really big growth area this year. That's what a lot of people are projecting. So, you know, the builders and developers are flocking to it.
And you know what's interesting is most people don't realize that's considered Richmond. So what you've got now Richmond really blending in to the Sugar Land area and to the Katy area. I mean, if you go down 99 right now, you mentioned Harvest Green. Very interesting concept on Harvest Green, which is it's going to have a farmer's market inside there. It's all about healthy living, organic, you know, fresh vegetables and fruits and all that. But you look at what's going on. The Palladium is absolutely the very best movie theater, if you ask me, in all of Houston.
Absolutely. Very nice.
We talk about that. You know, but it's really neat to see that blending because obviously that's all Fort Bend County, but it's also the different melding of Sugar Land, Richmond, Katy. It's becoming sort of a contiguous look at right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a few years ago, if you drove in that stretch between Sugar Land and Katy, I mean, first off, Grand Parkway was not open, so you'd have to go up and down feeders and things like that. It wasn't a straight shot, but there wasn't that kind of development. Now the development, once Grand Parkway is, kind of opened up and making the distance shorter to travel between the two areas, that's why you're seeing the growth, and you're seeing the houses built, you're seeing the commercial built, the movie theater we talked about. There's huge gallery furniture out there as well, and a lot of other things planned. So kind of as the development keeps happening, it's just gonna cause more growth, and more people are flocking to that area for the convenience, because it's in between Sugar Land and Katy. It used to be for a lot of our clients, oh, do I want to be in Sugar Land or do I want to be in Katy? Now people kind of can be in the middle and have access to both.
And let's talk a little about schooling, because that's always a big thing we talk about. You've got Fort Bend ISD, you've got Lamar Consolidated, you've got Katy. I'll tell you what, those are all three excellent ISDs to work with. And so, how do people determine some of those things? Because you have some people who don't really understand how excellent, really and truly, they all three are.
Correct. And that's what we try to do in those meetings we talked about earlier when we get people into the office. We talk about, not just the communities, but the school districts, the schools that those particular neighborhoods are zoned to, and educate them on that. And as you said, all of the districts are very, very good, and that's what causes a lot of people to come to Fort Bend County, because it's a convenient location, getting into downtown or getting up to the Energy Corridor or the Med Center. And as you said, they have great schools and really great communities with really nice amenities. So it's all a big package deal, but people really like it.
Now, I'm going to circle back to you, Kunal, on something. We talk about business planning. We hear a lot of different national news out there, and says, real estate market obviously has changed, oil and gas has gone down, et cetera, et cetera. Let's talk a bit about planning for the future. What do you see sort of in the future, number one, coming up? And then how do you plan for that numbers-wise? I mean, we talked about building a business that can withstand all the different models, both the high times, as we talk about, as well as the low times. I don't see any low times coming here in Houston anytime soon because of what we have coming in, but building an effective business model, obviously, to go forward with that, how do you address some of those things?
I think the most important thing for any business, whether it's real estate or you own a restaurant or a store, are your resources, are your people, are your team members. So the Seth brothers are successful because our team is phenomenal. We invest a lot of time and effort in developing them. So if tomorrow the market slows down, we can rely on our team members. But the most important question we get asked by all our clients is, well, are we heading into a bust now? Is the real estate market slowing down? And what we tell our clients is what we've had in the last 2 years was not the normal real estate market. I mean, I stood out at sales office 2 years back all night to buy a house. I mean, who does that?
Right.
Was that normal?
Somebody who wants a house.
Really want it.
Hey,
but that's not normal real estate market.
Yeah, we called it a hypermarket. And Ted Jones, who's a doctor of economics, and that's how he described it. It was a hypermarket.
Correct. And now we are headed to more of a normal market where, yes, it has slowed down, but that's a relative term. What was happening 2 years back was not normal. But is it going to slow down? Yes. I mean, there are a lot of things that are happening in the Houston market. But what has changed from the history of Houston market is we are not a one-trick pony anymore. We have the healthcare industry. We have one of the biggest ports in the Houston market. And all of these things, when you combine them together, makes it a great, successful area to invest.
I love you said that. Somebody told me the other day, Dr. Ted Jones, saying second largest port, especially with what's going on with the Panama Canal, obviously the dredging that they did to open that up to some of those super tankers. But, we say this all the time. Healthcare is our number one employer. Our number two largest employer is retail in general. And look at 99, as we talked about in Fort Bend, look at all the retail that's going in as far as that goes. You look at number three now, it's technology. Technology and all the services associated with it. Port of Houston, number 4. And now you've got oil and gas, number 5. From an employment perspective, that's what you want to see to maintain home prices in a normality, to maintain people coming in. And even oil and gas companies, what they're doing, they're bringing back people on their international, endeavors, bringing them back. They need homes now. The other thing we looked about the other day is we have more employment in Houston than any time in our history. Now, we're also the largest we've ever been, but over 3 million jobs, over 3 million individuals are employed in Houston, the largest ever in the history of Houston.
We're doing okay.
We're doing absolutely okay. I would absolutely agree there. And for you mentioned sometimes people get a little nervous. Let's say you're putting your home on the market right now. when is a good time to put your home on the market?
Sure.
Today.
I know, right after the show.
With
Right.
the Seth brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of depends on the location and the kind of home, but let's just take a home kind of out in the suburban locations and some of these master plan communities we talked about. The busier time to put the house on the market is the springtime. More people are looking, February, March, April. We've actually already seen an increase in traffic going around on the weekends and so forth. So we would advise, February, March, April, with people buying homes in, April, May, June, July, so they can time that summertime move. But Houston is a year-round market. I mean, people still move in the summer, the fall, the winter. I mean, unlike Boston where it's snowing and it's cold, here people can see houses, buy houses at the end of the year as well. But if you ask for the optimal time, I would say the springtime in the next few months so people can time their summertime move.
That is awesome. Now I also want to talk about something we talked about during the break and hadn't gotten to yet, which is working with family. That's always an interesting subject matter because it's a very family-oriented business. Real estate is in general. Now, I always tell everybody is, we're all an extended family, and we all work with each other. But in your case, you're actually family members. You actually are married into the same family. And so, thus the Seth brothers. How does that work? How is that dynamic out there? And, who wins? I'm just joking.
Yeah. And who's in charge, right?
Ask off the air.
Yeah, I asked them both this morning who's in charge. They both answered, I am.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's very simple. The way we start every morning, Sohant and I have an arm wrestle. The one who wins runs the show for the day.
That's a very egalitarian way to do it. So.
But Sohant is actually my brother-in-law, so he's married to my sister, and we just happen to have the same last name. Seth is a common last name in India. Well, when we formed the team about 2.5 years back, for 6 months, we had a period of time. We said, let's just try it out. And I kept my job with corporate America, and for 6 months, I was doing real estate with Sonnet. And we said, let's work out all the quirks. Can we even sit with each other for more than 20 minutes? Can we hang out outside of work, besides spending time with family? And those 6 months were very, very crucial. And we had, issues. We went back and forth on how we should run the business. But we came to an agreement. There's certain things that he's good at. There's certain things that I'm good at. And we have kind of drawn line in the sand that these are things that I want you to run on and manage the show with the team and with the business, and certain things that I do. So, of course, we go back and forth discussing things. There's no decision that we take which is only run by Sonnet or by myself. We make joint decisions, but we take initiative on each different aspect of the business.
Well, tell me what your team looks like. How's it composed?
Absolutely. So we have a team of 8 people, and our team is extremely diverse. We have Corey Burke, who was born and raised in the Houston market. We have Q, who was of Vietnamese origin, but was in Houston for a number of years, and he moved back about 2 years back. Then we have O'Neill Kurup. He's been on our team for about 1.5 years, and he's a local business owner. He owns several restaurants in the market. Then we have Priya Kurup. She is one of our kind of lifelines of the team. She runs the whole show. She's our office manager. Then we have Aaron. He's been on our team for about 2.5, 3 months, and he's a young kid, very, very excited to be part of our team. And of course, we have Lindsay Cooper. She is in the Clear Lake area, and she's been in this business for about 4.5, 5 years. So when you come to our office and you look around, we have extremely diverse team.
I was going to say that's a very diverse team.
I love the diversity.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people get very homogeneous,
Right.
and I don't know that that's always a good thing because you do bring some different ideas into this and different cultures and everything into one team. That's
Correct.
pretty nice.
The mantra for our team is you don't have to agree with me and Sonat on everything, but it's imperative that our team members are aligned with our goals, with our how we run our business. Alignment is more important than having an agreement with your team leads.
Well, that's one thing I noticed about leaders is they don't have a vision of where they're going. And once if you're a great leader, you can teach your people what your vision is, and so they can see this is where we're going.
I know everyone who's listening is like, how can I get a hold of those guys? I want to reach them right now. And I want to make sure. How do we get a hold of you?
It's very simple. We have a web presence. Our website is thesethbrothers.com. That's THESETH brothers, all one word.com. We do a lot of advertising on Zillow, Trulia, HER, of course. And the direct number to reach me personally, my cell phone, and our office number is 832-543-3222. Pretty simple.
That's pretty easy. 832
and Sonnet
543-3222.
He does not take calls, guys. Do not call him.
Yes, please call Kunal.
He's busy with football.
He doesn't do as well as you. I get it.
We Indians don't watch football. Okay, call me.
That is awesome. Well, I'm having such a great time, but we do have to take a break right now. Those are the Seth Brothers with Remax Fine Properties, a great team. Again, thesethbrothers.com.
We got Dane Gates coming up.
That is correct. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to finance a new home or refinance your existing home? Look no further. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage. Willow Bend Mortgage is a mortgage banker in the greater Houston area. In business since 1993, Willow Bend Mortgage offers a great array of products from FHA, VA, and USDA loans to conventional and jumbo loans, all with great rates and incredible service from Chris and his staff. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage today, 713-256-9138, or online at chriskelso.com. Again, that's 713-256-9138 or online at chriskelso.com. Available 24 hours a day. Great rates, exceptional service. That's Willow Bend Mortgage.
Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties, the fastest growing real estate company in Houston. Over 400 trained professional realtors here to serve your needs in 21 locations in Houston and across the state. Whether you're buying, selling, or leasing, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties is the smart choice. Check us out at andersonprops.com today. Find out why so many choose Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties for all of their real estate needs. You know us, we know real estate.
Protect your number one valued asset, your home. Want to know who home builders, commercial property, and real estate professionals call when they have a foundation issue? Perma-Pier Foundation Repair of Texas. You can access the same professional grade services the pros choose, all backed by a lifetime transferable warranty and over 15,000 successfully completed projects. Visit permapier.com. That's permapier.com to schedule your free evaluation today.
She told me don't worry about it. She told me don't worry no more. We both know we can't go without it. She told me you'll never be alone. I can feel my face when I'm with you.
I can't feel my face, and you can't feel your nose, can you,
I
Rob?
can, man. I'm telling you. So we're letting you do the lion's share of the questioning today. I am.
Get on the mend, buddy. We like you.
You're a
little under the
stuffed
weather.
up. Yeah,
Yes,
you're a little
a little.
under the weather. But, right now, coming up next, and he's still right now trying to face the family tree to find out if he's related to Bill Gates. But we have Dane Gates.
Yes.
With Berkshire
Berkshire
Hathaway Home Services, Anderson Properties.
That's right.
All
Say that in a
The
single
Woodlands.
breath.
Thanks for having me.
Don't forget the
Excited to be here.
Woodlands.
So, Dane, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. Good to see you guys.
Well, pleasure is all ours. Let us know a little about your history. How did you get involved with real estate, and what did you do prior?
Okay. Well, actually, I jumped in pretty quick. Once I graduated from college, I, had to find a job very quickly. I wanted to do real estate, but obviously, there's not instant income when you jump into a profession like that. So,
Right.
I took a job in wholesale insurance, actually, and I did quite well at it, but I did not enjoy it at
Right.
all. I learned a lot. It's been very beneficial for me, but every day when I was leaving the office on the first floor, there was a real estate company there, and I just kept looking at it. And I'm like, I'm going to get my license. I'm going to go do what I want to do, and I made it happen.
That is awesome.
That's a man with a plan.
Yeah, and you said you got in the wholesale. How long were you in the insurance before you jumped over to real estate?
I was there for just under a year.
Okay.
Enough time to move up. I actually got promoted right before I left. And
Hey, guys,
honestly,
thank
that was kind of the point to where I realized that I could do well with it. I was ready to work hard. I understood what our goals were, but I just didn't enjoy it. I mean,
Right.
it just wasn't fun to me. And so I got my license, jumped into real estate, and it's just been a perfect fit for me personally.
Well, enjoying what you do, I tell everybody is, and this goes for any job, whether it be real estate or not, is if you do something you love,
It's not
then
work.
it's not work anymore. And that's one of the things that I say is the individuals who are truly successful that I see in the industry, they love
what they do.
being in the industry.
Definitely.
Now, they also like going to partying with me and Rob every once in a while, but, they really love the industry.
We're getting a reputation like we party all the time. But
Yeah, it's mainly Rob.
I
It's
don't
not
know where
me.
that comes
Yeah, it's
from.
not
Could
me at
be
all. Trust me.
Facebook.
But so then how long ago was that? And then Talk a little bit about what
that
where
was
you're
in
at today.
2006. Got in the industry. Things were going well there in 2006, and then
Right.
very quickly the industry declined. And
Really? Did that happen? I would
yeah.
never have known.
There's a blip on the radar
Yeah,
screen.
so I got a little
Truman one.
taste of a good market of the potential of the industry, and
Right.
then we saw obviously the crash in the mortgage market, and that was a tough time for me being a young agent, getting into the business, just starting to understand the marketplace, and then having to face a slow
And
market.
his thoughts of,
Right.
I had that nice job at the insurance
Yeah.
company. What was I thinking?
What happened to that promotion?
Yeah, what did I do here? So, but it was a learning lesson,
Right.
and just like these gentlemen talked about a little earlier, and you see this translate from top producing agents, and it doesn't matter your market. If you're willing to work hard, if you're doing what you love, I know it sounds so cliche. It's like,
Right.
It's like you're standing at one of those seminars, and the guy's standing up there, follow your dreams, and you'll be a millionaire one day. But it's true. If you really work hard and you enjoy what you're doing, then the rest will come. And so I just stuck with it and worked hard, did the grind, and things turned around. The market started to get better. Fortunately, I was there on the forefront, still working in real estate, and so everything just started to improve, and it's just been a blast.
And I've always said it's important to understand the bad times, so you respect the good times. Because what happens is when it's all peaches and roses and it's easy and you have all those low-hanging fruits, bad habits are created. Yet when you go through a bad market, that's when you have to absolutely put in the processes, the marketing, everything in place, and then that carries you even further whenever the market comes back. And so it was interesting. 2006, by 2008, obviously we had a big change in the market. 2009, 2010, it sort of carried over right there. And then by 2012, we were in that hyper market, and for 2.5 years, it was just, guns.
I feel
out.
sorry for the ones
Yeah.
that got in the market when it was hypermarket. They think it's like that all
Right,
the time.
exactly.
Right.
Right.
It's like oh wait,
Yeah.
it's like that Woodlands listing goes, hey, it's been on the market 2 hours. Where's the 6 contracts I'm
Right.
supposed to have?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And Dave's like, guys,
Well,
hold
they'll
on.
almost have to start over.
Well, and then you're in a great market area, obviously. Talk a bit about
Absolutely.
your office up there, and you're with
Yep.
Rob's office.
That's right. Yeah, in 2008, I joined with Berkshire Hathaway Anderson Properties. Well, at that time, we weren't Berkshire Hathaway, but joined with the company, and honestly, that was a game changer for me as well. The leadership, the agents that are surrounding me were just such a positive influence, and they really focused and let me have what I needed to be successful. It's not a cookie cutter plan where it's like this is going to work for every agent that works for us. They really allowed us to do our own thing. Whatever would help us be successful. And so, and then going into the Woodlands market, I started off in the Inner Loop, actually.
Oh, wow.
Worked in our Heights office and worked in the Inner Loop, townhouses, condos, were the majority of my business. And I switched gears completely and went to the suburbs, which I absolutely love, and now do more single family. And
talk a little bit about that, by the way, because there is a big difference. Most people don't realize. I get this conversation all the time. Inner loop marketing, especially when you got townhomes and condominiums, that's a different market than the suburb type marketing out in Fort
Absolutely.
Bend County or Montgomery or some of those areas. And it's a pretty big difference because obviously you've got different financing considerations. You have different considerations in the building. You've got maintenance versus HOA. Talk a little bit about that if you don't
right.
mind.
Well, and that's just it. Knowing the ins and outs of the particular product that you're working with, in this case being single family out in the suburbs versus doing townhomes, condominiums, and there's a lot of things that come with each of those type of properties that you need to be experienced with and understand. And they're going to come up in the transaction. So, and that's another reason that moving to the north side and working with single family was so beneficial for me, because I'm very passionate about that. I love that. I understand the details of the building and the construction of single family homes, things that come up in the transaction with your survey, encroachment, easements, all these things that you run into in a typical neighborhood. And then of course the Woodlands is such a unique area and has so much going for it, and it's becoming its own city center in so many ways. So it's just been a lot of fun. It was just a perfect fit for me again. And then in 2010, I started doing relocation. And obviously being in the Woodlands with all of our oil and gas and engineering and different, Hewlett Packard,
Right.
all kinds of different industry that's up there. And that's become home base. And so you start looking at the outside of the Woodlands as the suburbs. And it's just been such a fun market to follow. to work in, and both agents within my company and outside, phenomenal agents in that area. So we all work together really well. We get deals done. We achieve people's dreams.
And it has a governance. It's a township, and it's got its own
Yep.
mayor, and we've gotten involved politically with them through the PAC and
Right.
things like that. So it is its own little city.
And what I've always found interesting in Houston, I mean, if you look at it now, we have all these centers. You mentioned the Woodlands and that. I see Sugarland. You see downtown Houston. You see the Villages. Now you're seeing up in the Kingwood area off of 59 with the new development going on, little north side right there. You're seeing all these pockets of these huge centers that are being created, and everything's sort of growing outside of that. And you can't, I was listening, you can't really see my hands of what I'm doing right there.
Well, just get them
But-
closer to the mic.
This is still radio, remember?
Yeah.
this is still radio right here. But it's really interesting as you mentioned, because now Woodlands is one of those pockets, but then all the outskirts of it, what's going on up in the lake, up in Conroe, what's going down
Absolutely.
south, down in Spring, all the way over to Champions, all the way all that new east side between the Woodlands and Kingwood. A lot of good stuff going on right now.
Tons of growth, tons of opportunities. That's another fun thing about being in a market like that is, I'll get certain clients who, hey, they're focused on getting land. I'd like to have some property. I don't want to be in your typical residential neighborhood, but I'd like to be within the area, easy commute to the Woodlands, and that's available. Or I'd like to be on a lakefront and have a waterfront home, and that's available. And then you have all kinds of great neighborhoods, great schooling system. There's so much going for all of those areas. And then, of course, with the Grand Parkway, as we were talking about earlier, coming through, it's expanding that horizon even further. So the opportunity is tremendous. The growth in the area is tremendous. And it's just really fun to be a part of that. I mean, it's like a tidal wave moving, and you're just watching it all unfold. So it's been a blast to be a part of that.
It's really interesting to see you talking about a commute to the Woodlands,
Right.
as opposed to a commute to Houston.
Right.
And I guess it has the same feel in Sugarland as well. But it's really interesting with the nucleus of major corporations that are headquartered now in the greater Woodlands area, that is now the commute target. And it's really,
Exactly.
So as they get a little further out in Montgomery, Magnolia, and even farther north, they're not thinking about driving all the way into Houston now. They're thinking about what it's going to take to get to the Woodlands. And
Yeah.
it's really,
and I actually was out teaching in
it's
the
a
Woodlands
nucleus.
one morning. And I said, this is pretty heavy traffic going in the Woodlands. And someone said there's more traffic coming into the Woodlands now than going out in the morning.
right.
Yeah. Oh,
And
absolutely.
that was a big surprise for me, because that means that transmigration type.
Well, if you look at all the corporate offices now that are headed up there, I mean, you look at Anadarko Petroleum. Obviously, we know about ExxonMobil. People don't realize some of the gas and pipeline that are still up there,
Baker
and
Hughes.
chemical is really big. They have a big chemical center up there in the Woodlands as well. It has so much activity going on that people are going up there all the time. I mean, you and I, even when we go up there for our events, we're having to. Rob and I always try to
We
plan to
used
go
that
up there as
HOV
a
lane last
team to
night.
get
That
that
worked
HOV
really well.
lane up there. Yeah, that's the way we do it. Otherwise, you can't roll otherwise.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's just it. And I mean, and that it allows some of these other areas that before were too far out or less population, less infrastructure, less commercial. Now they're growing, and they're allowing for people to live in the Magnolia and Porter and New Caney and Willis and Lake Conroe area and commute to the Woodlands. And so it's a perfect area, and there's some beautiful developments going in.
Right.
And very well thought out developments, kind of like the Woodlands, kind of mirror that image, and people love it.
Yeah, I mean, you got Woodforest still going up further north right there. You've got some other things going on, obviously, in the Conroe area.
And you got Johnson Corp bought that big tract of land.
That Johnson Corporation bought that big tract of land. And then, obviously, if you keep going over towards 59, you have that whole tract that's being developed of very much land, very similar to what we talked about the Grand Parkway. Individuals want to get back a little bit to living in that openness. What I'm starting to see more people come to ask me ever before is, what's your construction loan look like? Are you seeing a lot of people wanting to build on their own land as well?
Absolutely. That's been coming up a lot lately, especially there's some different developments coming up right now where they're selling lots. In fact, they advertise some on the radio pretty heavily, where people are going out there. They have flexibility with the builder that you choose. So I'm seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, let us know how we can reach you, by the way, because we're going to come up against a break right here, but I don't want it to be too late before we ask you that question.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate the opportunity. DaneGates.com, that's DaneGates.com, has all my information, and also 832-654-4795 is my cell.
Say that one more time.
832-654-4795.
That is Dane at DaneGates.com or
Well, you should be able to
DaneGates.com.
remember that.
Yeah.
That is correct. And one thing, he's still trying to trace
Bill's
that
younger
lineage
brother.
to Bill. That is correct. First question, I was like, any relation to Bill Gates? He said, I'm trying to get that. I'm on
right now.
Ancestry.com. I'm trying to figure out one way.
Security test are due back anytime.
Exactly. He's like, yeah, I'm waiting one time, but we are not going away. We still have one segment more to go. So
We're gonna make
stay
everybody
tuned.
talk.
We're going to make everybody talk this last segment, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to finance a new home or refinance your existing home? Look no further. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage. Willow Bend Mortgage is a mortgage banker in the greater Houston area. In business since 1993, Willow Bend Mortgage offers a great array of products from FHA, VA, and USDA loans to conventional and jumbo loans, all with great rates and incredible service from Chris and his staff. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage today, 713-256-9138, or online at chriskelso.com. Again, that's 713-256-9138 or online at chriskelso.com. Available 24 hours a day. Great rates, exceptional service. That's Willow Bend Mortgage.
Down Under Pools can help make your backyard a focal point for luxury outdoor living. Imagine coming home from a hard day's work and enjoying the evening in a spa-like environment with pool, water features, and lighting integrated seamlessly into your home and landscaping design. Down Under's design team has a seasoned eye for color, scale, proportion, and detail. Even more important is Down Under's commitment to the highest quality construction practices to achieve the highest standards of hydraulic and structural integrity. Down Under is one of the most creative and trusted pool and landscape builders in Houston because of their award-winning design and construction and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Visit downunderpools.com to see examples of what could be in your backyard. That's DOWNUNDA pools.com. Down Under. Pools for the mind, body, and soul.
Protect your number one valued asset, your home. Want to know who home builders, commercial property, and real estate professionals call when they have a foundation issue? Perma-Pier Foundation Repair of Texas. You can access the same professional-grade services the pros choose, all backed by a lifetime transferable warranty and over 15,000 successfully completed projects. Visit permapier.com. That's permapier.com to schedule your free evaluation today.
I don't like it. I love it, love it, love it. Uh-oh. So good it hurts. I don't want it. I gotta have it. Uh-oh. When I can't find the words, I just go.
I don't like it. I love it.
We're supposed to be saying we're back.
If you love
We are
radio,
back.
We are back.
I think it's always a
Love
given
this.
once I say that I like it or love it or whatever the song
Chris
is, right?
likes to listen to the music.
I love listening to music. These are all my tunes. These are all the bus tunes, actually.
Yes, I know.
So, we actually have a caller calling in right now. He is from Capital Title. Brent, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
buddy.
morning.
How you doing?
Oh, living the dream, living the dream.
Hey, that is one of the recipients of one of the awards last
That's
night for
right.
being a top producer with only 8 months last year with Capital Title. Congratulations on that.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chris.
So what are you going to do with 12 months?
Exactly.
You can't take
He
4
did that
months
in
off.
8. Imagine you add 4 more to it.
We're going to kill it. We're going to kill
Oh,
it.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, man. Well, let us know. Where are you at, by the way? Which office? And let everybody know a little bit about you.
We've got a beautiful office in Sugar Land at 2415 Town Center Drive, right behind Mercedes-Benz there, and have a great elite team of closers. Work with wonderful customers for that
We've
matter.
got one held captive today right here in the studio.
Yes.
Absolutely. Understand we're on the
Tinkerbell.
Success
We
Brothers
got
this
Tinkerbell
morning.
with us.
I hear a lot of good things about your marketing rep.
Oh, absolutely.
That is all. Will you have a question for our guest or anything? Brent?
No, absolutely. I just wanted to call in and say, just give an endorsement to our great customers like the Seth Brothers. We work with hundreds of real estate agents through the year, and some are excellent, some not so much, but you work with people like the Seth Brothers and the great teams at Remax Fine Properties, and they really, really try hard and make a difference and represent their customers well and make our lives easy for that matter.
I'm going to send Manesha invoice too. By the way.
Right. Well, that is really good, and Kunal, we're talking about that. Obviously, what Brent was saying. It's and I can say this, and I know Brent's saying this from a title perspective. I can say from a mortgage perspective. It's always great to work with individuals who know their business, who are organized, who have everything set up the way you guys set up. It makes the job so much easier, and when our job is easier, the clients.
Yeah, bottom line, it's good for the consumer.
It's good for the client. That is correct. So
absolutely, and that's what's most important. We try to run our business just like the real estate agents, and try to think at least every morning when we get up that the customer's always right. Sometimes that's not always.
They're not always right, but they are always in charge.
Yeah,
absolutely. But at least try to think that way and implement that in our business and our order of operations every day.
Well, Brent, thank you very much for calling in, bud. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm listening to y'all, so y'all have a good time, and thank you very much for putting this together for us.
Hey, likewise, man. You take it easy, and don't go out and drive that motorcycle too hard this weekend. We need you back at work on Monday.
Absolutely not. I would never.
Sounds great, bud.
Take care, guys.
You too.
Later.
So, and that's an example. One of the things we talk about, we're all about community, creating community. We have some great individuals that have been off air that we want to introduce really fast. We have Rebecca Haas, by the way. She's with the Sugar Land office. She is their marketing rep down there. Rebecca, tell everybody hi.
Good morning, everyone. Chris, thank you so much for having us. Kunal and Sonnet, thank you so much for being a part of this. We at Capital Title like to add value to all of our customers' business. And so this is one way that we can do it by being on the air with the Real Estate Rat Pack. So this is one thing that we can do to help you grow your business. And if you're interested in doing that, then you can contact me at 832-867-8026. And I am also at Capital Title in Sugar Land. And always appreciate the opportunity to work with the Rat Pack and Chris at Willow Bend Mortgage. He's a great resource for us. We're having a class on Wednesday on business planning, so if that's something you're interested in, then again, contact me at 832-867-8026, and always appreciate the opportunity.
You brought someone with you today I want you to introduce.
Absolutely. I have one of our fabulous closers, Terry Bell Ewell, like they said, otherwise known as Tinkerbell in the industry. She's amazing to work with. She's been a huge supporter of mine. I greatly appreciate her, and just let her say a few words.
Hello, Houston.
There you go.
There he goes.
I'm a closer at the Capital Title in Sugar Land, and I have had the pleasure of closing the Seth brothers, and they have a phenomenal team. Everything is so organized, and they are so kind. I just really appreciate closing with them, and I think anyone else would be very blessed to have them as their real estate agents.
That, and they're extremely funny, by the way.
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would love to attend one of your cultural classes.
Yep, I think we're all dying for that, by the way.
You may have a lot bigger audience next time.
You have a built-in audience of like 10 right now. So,
so we're
we'll
ready.
Just have it at our office at
There you go.
2415 Town Center
Oh,
Drive.
she got that plug in there.
We got that one in right
Wow.
there. And while our great icon of insurance is out in Austin, having a good time, hanging out with WCR, hanging out with TAR.
Did we check him in?
Yes, we checked him in and everything.
Okay,
but while he's out, we have on our third mic over there, Dave Dickinson. He is marketing rep for the Woodlands area. Dave?
Well, good morning, everyone. I am delighted to be here as always. This is always a lot of fun for me. And
He comes for the breakfast.
Yeah, he
I
did.
do.
Yeah.
Well,
it's just the free breakfast.
There's nothing like the crispy bacon at the Egg and I. There really isn't. I live in such a fortunate world. I mean, I get to work with great professionals all the time, inside and outside of my business. And I've just recently met Dane, and we hit it off, and we're looking forward to doing a lot of transactions this year. We were actually already working one with him, and he's just a super professional. I mean, somebody who has seen both sides of the real estate business in such a short amount of time being in it, and yet he's very well experienced, he's organized, he's got a plan for his business, and that's really the secret to success in real estate. You can't run it out of your personal checkbook. You've got to have a plan. You've got to have a budget. You got to know where your money's going. and where it shouldn't be going. And Dane has really got it together. It's a pleasure to have great professionals like that in the Woodlands.
Well, the pleasure is all mine, and I appreciate you guys having me in here, and working with you and the Capital Title team has been phenomenal. And with all of you guys, it's just been a really good experience, and that's the kind of people I like to surround myself with, so I really appreciate it.
I feel like singing Kumbaya.
But there'll be no lighting of campfires in here.
Yeah. For all those who couldn't guess, that was the live Capital Title advertisement we did. It's one of the infomercials we like to do, you know.
But you know what? It is
If
refreshing.
they give you any trouble with the invoice, let me know.
Yeah. No, we got your check. Thank you. And I believe it was good. But it's really refreshing to see someone like Dane come in, because I've always, one of my concerns always, and that's why I like to work with the NRG group at HAR, which is the under 40 group, is
which I was a part of at one point.
Awesome. And then you got busy. Right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
but it, I was worried about, because right now the average age of a realtor is about 57 years of age. Wow. And so there's twice as many people that age group than there are 40 and under. And so I'm thinking they're going to inherit a big industry, and there's going to be very few of them, because most people get out of college, they're encumbered with with their student loans and other items, and they say, well, I don't really want to start for a year or two. So that was pretty brave and bold after 1 year with a company to get out there in a free fall. So hats off to you, because that's a big step.
Yeah, thank you. No, I mean, it's just hard work. That's one of the things that I told myself whenever I did jump into real estate is I was new to it. It was something that I was still learning about.
You didn't even know to be afraid, did you?
Yeah, exactly. So I just told myself I'm going to work harder than everyone else. And if you do that and you stay focused on your clients and make sure that you're doing the best job for them, the rest will come. And that really was, I know. And again, it sounds like one of those cliche things you stand in front of an audience.
They become cliches because it's true.
Because it's true. That's right.
And I must add, that philosophy is really sound, because Dane has become the top producing agent at that office, and it's an awesome achievement.
I would absolutely agree.
And Kunal, he has an unlisted phone number, so I'm sorry you can't contact him.
But we are coming up against our 3 minutes, and one of the things I want to do is sort of our rapid fire. But I want everybody to have a chance to say, what would you like our listenership to end with? Give us our 30-second spiel of what you would like to partake leave them with in regards to your information or advice.
Well, you can visit www.danegates.com. Certainly reach out to me anytime. I think my biggest advice is just work with an agent that you can fully trust and that you're comfortable with. You want somebody that can be not only representing your best interest, but a friend in a lot of cases to help you through the transaction. So you just really want somebody that you can talk to, feel comfortable with. I think that's a huge, important factor in choosing your agent.
Sure.
Sonnet, how about you?
Yeah, what I would say, just again, our website is www.thesethbrothers.com. My biggest advice to people would be, there's a lot of misinformation out in this industry. We talking a little bit about this earlier, stuff you read online, or people hear something from someone else who heard from someone else. When you get down to it and you're considering a home purchase or a sale, talk to a professional, talk to one who's knowledgeable in the area, talk to one who, does a lot of business in the area, and make sure you get the facts first before kind of jumping into all the different conclusions.
I love that, and you're absolutely right. I mean, that we talked about that misinformation. Gosh, that's one thing I wish, and seeing professionals like you, it really is refreshing, because we're going in a great direction. But sometimes that misinformation, it's like, where did you hear
Kunal's over here percolating. Yes. He's got something to say.
Absolutely.
Let's let him talk.
Kunal, how about you, buddy?
What I was going to say was, it's important when buyers or sellers on the market, they all think, I can handle this transaction, I can sell, I can buy, or I can manage my own real estate sale or purchase. But what's important is, don't pick your realtor based on who has the biggest billboard in the market or who advertises the most. We highly recommend, even when clients come to us, we tell them, go interview other agents, talk to other brokers, and ask the right questions. Ask them how they're going to add value to your transaction, how they're going to help you move from being a homeowner to another homeowner or selling a transaction. So my 2 cents of advice is, that when you are in the real estate market, whether you're looking to buy, sell, or do whatever you want to do, make sure you talk to different agents, ask the right questions, interview them, and determine, are they going to be a partner who's going to help you make the right financial decision. That is the key. Once you get that key, everything is golden.
I love it, and I love the right financial decision. We like to leave this show with a quote, and today is no different. And today we're going to talk about, because we got family here, and we're all extended family. It's having somewhere to go is home. Having someone to love is family. Having both is a blessing. And I think we have a little bit of all that in the
Absolutely.
room today, by the way. You know, I love being on with everybody. I want to thank the Seth brothers. I want to thank Dane and Capital Title. But
Thank you.
time's up.
Time's up.
We've got to go.
You've been listening to the Real Estate Rat Pack. The Real Estate Rat Pack is ready to answer your toughest questions. So tune in to the Real